You would think that a silent killer on a space station would be your biggest threat. People are going missing at an alarming rate, some even turning up mangled. But because the station owners have left, society is falling apart, making the biggest threat to your mental and physical health silent, but a lot easier to see than you would think.
Do you wish to die on that station and never see your family again?
Well, obviously not.
Then continue to document the status of the station and be sure to record any major developments. This is a significant purchase for Weyland-Yutani, and we cannot afford any surprises.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for 3 weeks now. When the deal was agreed to, you said decline the first shuttles off the station. Document for about a week the station's major systems, and you said you'd be here to pick me up at the end of that week. I can't take this much longer. The station, the people on board. You gotta get me out of here.
Well, things have changed. One of our executives is on board and in need of medical attention in a transit station. We need you to head to the medical bay and grab the trauma supplies, then we can discuss your ride home.
In the weeks since Seegson began shipping people off of this rust bucket, its decay has happened way faster than you ever could have expected, even being a junior engineer. Making literally every trip through these icy, uncanny hallways a gamble of your life. However, there's one thing you just can't seem to wrap your mind around. You of course know Weyland-Yutani is buying the station because they stole you from Seegson. But things started feeling uneasy. You can't help but to feel like something is being hidden from everyone. The tram ride to the med bay is a moment of quiet. It is the only peace you get on this godforsaken station. But lately, it seems like with every good thing that happens, 2 less than desirable experiences are sure to follow. Whether that's from a system breaking down or damage to the bones of the station, or the other people who are living here and are getting angrier and hungrier each day. It's really just a roll of the dice which one's gonna threaten your life. Fantastic. Looks like you'll be taking the long way back. Luckily, the march to the med bay was free of obstacles. You were also greeted by a disembodied voice. That voice belonging to a doctor who offers to help you find the medical supply. As expected, you won't be able to get through many of the doors because of the lockdown. Sometime after Seegson's staff began leaving the station, the onboard marshal decided it was necessary to place the whole system on lockdown, which, as you knew would be the case, caused everyone to panic. People were quick to turn against anyone they didn't already have a developed relationship with.
Look alive, people. I don't know this one.
Food and medical supply became really hard to find, causing many of the people on board to get as many weapons as they could. Kinda like hunting for poo-poo paper in 2020, minus the weapons. I hope. But right now, the focus is on finding these medical supplies, and the doctor's gonna guide you. Great, you've gotten the code. And of course, the doctor decides this would be the best time to lay it on you that you're also going to need the key card because 2-factor authentication.
Found the passcode. Look, we'll need the physical key card too.
Quarantine breach? You were all told that this was just a general security lockdown. Oh, what the You drop to the floor without even thinking. Humans have achieved faster than light space travel, but the natural response that dates back to caveman times just helped save your life. Your fight, flight, freeze response just kicked in by serving freeze with a hint of flight. You see the teeth and the sharp bits on that thing? There's no way you're surviving a tussle with it. Also working in your favor is a heightened sense of awareness, which will make every little sound within earshot sound like it was being sent straight into your head through headphones. However, your heart is racing and your muscles are charged, ready to run. But you can't risk making any noise that'll get that creature's attention. During what should have been only a frustrating time figuring out how to get around doors, your life now depends on you carefully planning every move you make. Being wrong is something you're not unfamiliar with on the job. But it does not take a senior engineer to know that that thing will chew you up and no shot at spitting you out, pal. On top of the threat of the creature itself, the longer it takes you to get the key card and escape the situation, the more exhausted you're becoming, making every second spent using this new but natural super hearing another second closer to death. Did that thing do this? Or did a nasty group of gun-toting assholes do this to steal from what's left of the staff? It's hard to know for sure because the lockdowns have driven people to do so many things that you didn't think was even possible by a human. Now that you've gotten the key card, you make your way back to the doctor, using extreme caution with every step. If only the doctor had done the same. The shit that you've seen since lockdown began, stuff you will probably never forget. Getting off of this station has become an even bigger priority now. But Weyland-Yutani is a mega corporation. They didn't get that way by backing down when things got tough. So in order to prove to them that you're worthy of joining their team and being part of something much bigger than yourself, you're gonna have to push your boundaries as well. However, one boundary that you refuse to push for anyone is taking the life of another human. Now, you're no dummy. The people around this station typically don't carry guns just for show. You're not going to let them take your life, otherwise what is all of this even for? So when you run into a group of these clowns after getting a medical supply, you use your engineering know-how to create a device that surely will attract the creature to them. If you can distract the creature and take them out at the same time, then boom, Bob's your uncle.
That you successfully delivered the supplies to our pier. It seems we've made the correct decision when we reached out to you.
Whatever it takes, right? So, can we talk about getting a ship out of here?
Yes, there's been a bit of a change. You brought to our attention that something is living on that station. Something of great interest to the company.
What do you need me to do?
Simply document its behaviors.
Really?
Do it, and a seat in the C-suite is yours.
For the company. This may not be as bad as you first thought. The moment the Weyland-Yutani exec mentioned they want you to document the creature, you remembered the marshal and some other staff were trying to figure out a way how to get rid of it. So you could hold good on your deal and impress them with your life-saving can-do attitude. So you reach out to the marshal over comms and offer your help.
Take the elevator to Gemini Labs. If it follows, we can still trap it there. Ripley, Ricardo, we can't let it escape again, no matter what.
Despite this plan being the only thing standing between you and being able to snatch your goals, the events from earlier today keep replaying in your head. To make matters worse, new thoughts are forming and pretending to be memories. The what-ifs are playing on loop in your head. Your body's response is so intense that you need to just stop for a moment and hit a hard reset. While shifting focus on breathing and trying to remember what normal feels like, your panicked thoughts unfold into a more problem-solving state of mind. And when you do that, it's not hard to see why The collapse of this place was always going to happen. When Seegson decided to start loading people up on ships, the majority of the station was placed on lockdown shortly after. Before that, there was a shared reality that life on this station would be just like it is on Earth. Or at least as close as it can be, you know. You are in deep space, after all. But then people start going missing or end up straight up dead, causing that shared reality to shatter like glass, which plummeted those in charge into a panicked state of mind, causing the authority on board to believe that the best course of action to save everyone is a strong, security-focused reaction and even using violence if they need to, which instead of making things safer, obviously made everybody panic. And in time of panic, it's normal for humans to want to be grouped together because, you know, stronger in numbers. But in this new twisted reality where people are going missing, ending up dead, and food and medical supply is hard to find, no one you don't know can be trusted. And because nobody can be trusted, people are walking around the station with guns like they were surgically attached to their hands. This wouldn't even be the first time something like this has happened in human history. In 2005, after the levees broke during Hurricane Katrina, the news stations put a magnifying glass over the people who were looting or vandalizing and made it seem like everyone was doing that. Because of this, the government believed the answer was to focus on cracking down on everyone and even gave the okay to use deadly force. That's an example with a very easy to see cause. If we take a little hop and a skip to 1995, we can see an example with a known but not at all visible threat. The city of Chicago experienced an extreme 5-day heat wave that claimed over 700 lives. Aside from all of the things the city failed to do to prevent people from dying, the literal hellish conditions caused people to only focus on loved ones, which is perfectly reasonable, to be clear. Unfortunately, that meant that much of the elderly citizens who had no family nearby went without assistance and passed away from the heat.
17 years I've been here.
This is the worst?
This is the worst. Even plane crashes, train crashes, everything. This is the worst.
Maybe you're not living in extreme heat on this station, but people are dying, and outside of Seegson's need-to-know loop, nobody knows why. Well, aside from you now, and Weyland-Yutani obviously, but don't do that to me. You know exactly what I mean. So it's pretty easy to see why so many people were willing to take extreme actions to survive so quickly. But now that you've had a minute to release some of that stress, you're ready.
Wait.
The lab can be separated from the main station. Bring it back online and systems can reconnect.
While you tiptoe through the lab, wrapping your head around how you're going to get this power back on, the quiet hum of the room is ironically so loud that it makes you realize just how small you are compared to the size of this station and space itself, which forces you to come to terms with the fact that the only thing standing between you and the cold vacuum of space is some thin metal and glass. I don't doubt that it's strong, it would have to be, but nonetheless it's still just thin metal and glass. Whoa. Calm down. You need to focus and breathe because it's here. From what you've seen so far, the creature can't be hurt by a normal weapon, but it is still a living thing. There doesn't seem to be too many living things that enjoy the opportunity to become charred. As you make progress, the creature's hunt becomes more and more intense. Because you're so on edge, your spidey sense is working overtime. Every time the creature bangs its body against the walls inside the vents or drops into the room, your body becomes more tense, preparing to run. Which, of course, is actively working against you because you need to remain as quiet as possible to avoid attracting it. Regardless of how hard you try to win this game of Manhunt, the creature does get the jump on you a couple times. Luckily, your guess about the fire was right, which allowed you to escape death on more than one occasion. Now that you've got the power on, all you gotta do is get out of the lab without that thing following you.
I'm sorry, Ripley.
Facility jettison procedures
No! No! Fucking do this to me!
Get to the suits, get to the suits. In a sick twist of fate, not only did the Marshal use you as bait, but after spending all that time getting yourself calmed down, you are now floating in that icy cold vacuum with no lifeline. Probably the most isolated that anybody could actually be. Fortunately, being thrown from the lab does gift you a chance of survival. He nearly killed me on purpose. That asswipe didn't even think twice about getting rid of me to solve his problem.
I hear you. It's very unfortunate that happened, but there's one last thing we need. We only need you to go down to the maintenance levels and make sure the reactor is still functional. Judging by the footage you sent us, the creature is by all means gone, so this should be a simple task. Should you get a spot in the C-suite, it's important we can trust you'll always do right by the company.
Okay. As you make your way to the reactor, the many near-death experiences keep replaying in your head. Hell, there have been so many now that your brain's not even making up new ones like it was before, which may not even be to protect your mental health. That's most likely just because it's so exhausted that it can't spend the extra energy to think up things like that. But no amount of brain power could have gotten you ready for the hell that you were about to walk into. The walls are covered in a dark, sticky looking material that looks a lot like the skin of the creature. Inside of the material are the bodies of all the people that have gone missing in the last few weeks. You also notice that the floor is littered with these pod things. Some of them are even open. You're no scientist, but it seems pretty clear that something must have been living in these. It couldn't possibly have been the creature because that thing was huge. Unless... No. You managed to find out that, yes, the reactor does still work, but you were not left to wonder about the possibility of the creature multiplying. God, it's an infestation. Gotta get out. As if things weren't chaotic enough, the station's working Joes have apparently been sent to take care of you. The reactor still works, but that thing that was launched into space, it's not the only one. The maintenance level was full of, like, eggs or something and dead people.
Interesting. So the xenomorph is a predator and doesn't just fight for self-defense.
Yeah, sure, I guess I couldn't really tell you. Wait, you named it already? Did you know it was here when you reached out to me?
Well, your reports...
No, don't give me that BS. You knew about this before contacting me, didn't you?
We do our research before every major decision.
You're not coming to get me, are you?
Wayland Yutani thanks you for your cooperation. Your contributions to the Xenomorph Project are deeply appreciated.
You motherfucker. The hopelessness is suffocating, but as images of life back at home flash through your head, you suddenly realize the ship that one executive arrived on may still be here. Sure enough, the captain of the ship radios to anyone who can listen, offering her help.
Took out an entire orbital stabilizer array. We have no place to dock. Please, tell us what's going on in there. We can take survivors. I'll leave this channel open. Torrens out.
Unfortunately, that means you're not the only one who heard it.
The hell did I agree to come out here?
Where's that? Shit! Get out!
Your family always warned you. Rats get fat while brave men die. Yikes. Guess you should have left with those first transports. I get it. Everyone wants to provide and be part of something, and some hope that it'll make their life more meaningful. But Wayland Yutani played you like... Hey, Sega, that's the people from the really long loading screen. If you had put your corporate loyalty aside, you never even would have been on the station for all of this to happen to you. Seegson selling and abandoning the station doomed the society inside of it to be tainted with conflict. The authorities' distrust led to the severe security measures. Those security measures led to the distrust of authority and each other because of how hard it is to find stuff, which made everyone, almost everyone at least, drop their barriers and made it a lot easier for them to hurt, steal, and use each other as pawns, which caused you not only to deal with the mental effects of being isolated and hunted in space, but also not really fitting in with anybody and putting all of your trust into a mega corporation. One that, by the way, gets to walk away with all of their data and wipe their hands totally clean. You were forced to take actions into your own hands, which directly led to your mental decline and death. So what did we learn today? If Wayland Yutani approaches you, don't accept the offer. Unless they're threatening you, of course. This kind of a situation really makes you think, what's more survivable, living in this or with a bunch of psychopaths that want to kill you? Okay, make sure you sub so you can keep seeing more videos like this. If you liked it, don't leave it up to the algorithm. Pretty please. Love you, bye.